The Odyssey floated serenely in the cerulean skies of Veridonia. It was an explorer's dream, a lush planet teeming with life, where colors seemed more vivid and sounds sang like a symphony. Jason Carter stepped onto the soft, mossy ground, feeling the coolness beneath his boots. His heart raced with excitement as he gazed at the towering trees whose leaves shimmered like emeralds in the sunlight. "Don't get too comfortable, Jason," came the voice of Dr. Elena Grant, the mission's lead scientist and a friend he had known for years. Her practical tone cut through the serenity. "We're only here for a short while, and I need those soil samples ASAP. Yeah, just a minute," Jason replied, adjusting his equipment, a broad grin on his face. "This place is incredible. Can't you appreciate the scenery for it?" Elena shook her head, her blonde hair catching the light. "We're researchers, not tourists. Focus." As he moved forward, a strange rustling in the nearby bushes made Jason pause. "What was that?" he asked, tension creeping into his voice. "Probably just a creature," Elena shrugged, motioning him to continue. "It's a new world, we should expect some surprises." Before Jason could respond, a figure emerged from the foliage, revealing a striking alien woman. She had shimmering emerald skin and hair that seemed to undulate like leaves in a gentle breeze. Leary, the local botanist, stepped forward, her presence mesmerizing. "Is this Earth's delegation?" she queried, her voice melodic yet firm. Jason blinked in astonishment. "Wow, you're stunning." Elena rolled her eyes. "Jason, focus." Leary's bright eyes sparkled with curiosity. "I am here to guide you, but heed my words. This forest is alive, and it protects itself." "That sounds intriguing," Jason said, unable to tear his eyes away from her. "What do you mean by alive?" "The trees communicate with one another and observe your actions. They will respond to your intentions." Leary crossed her arms, the soft rustle of her clothing blending with the whispers of the wind. I won't disturb them, I promise," Jason replied, taking a step closer. "I'm more interested in understanding than disrupting." Leary studied him, her expression shifting from skepticism to a hint of understanding. "Your sincerity is clear, but one cannot tread lightly without respecting the balance of nature." "Noted. I'll keep that in mind." Jason chuckled nervously, the tension in the atmosphere pulsing with something electric. Dr. Grant stepped in, waving a hand dismissively. "Can we cut to the chase? What's the most important thing we need to know?" Leary turned to Elena, a hint of amusement in her eyes. "Humans are direct. I appreciate that. However, remember that your science might not encompass all that exists here." Yes, I get it." Elena waved her off impatiently. "Can you show us where to collect samples?" Leary gestured for them to follow, her movements fluid and graceful. "Come, I will show you where the soil is rich and the plants prosper." As they moved deeper into the forest, Jason found himself captivated not only by the lush vegetation but by Leary's presence. Every step she took seemed to make the forest come alive, the rustling leaves whispering secrets around them. "Do you spend all your time in the woods?" he asked, trying to keep his tone light as he positioned his equipment. "It is my home. Like the trees, I am intertwined with this planet," she replied, glancing back at him. Her voice flowed like the bubbling streams nearby. "Intertwined. I like that," Jason smiled. "So, do you communicate with the trees? Is that a thing?" Leary paused mid-step. A lingering glance passed between them. "In a way, yes. They share their wisdom, stories, and emotions. You humans have a different way of connecting, often more chaotic, I've noticed." "Oh, you have no idea." Jason chuckled, rubbing the back of his neck. "Sometimes my own emotions even confuse me." "Then perhaps you could learn from the trees," Leary said softly, her eyes reflecting the canopy above. "They are patient, observant. They don't rush thoughts, they allow time to nourish understanding." "That sounds like something I could use." "Rushing into things doesn't always serve well," Jason admitted, glancing at Elena, who was busy documenting samples with little regard for his personal revelations. "Perhaps you should spend more time with the forest, then. It may help you find clarity," Leary suggested, her tone inviting yet assertive. "Maybe, but I think there's someone else I'd rather spend time with." Jason's heart raced as he dared meet her gaze. Elena cleared her throat, interrupting their moment. "I need that soil sample, Jason." "Focus." "Yes. The samples, of course," Jason exclaimed, standing up straight. "Let's get to work." As they prepared to collect data, Jason couldn't help stealing glances at Leary, who seemed unfazed by Elena's urgency. Her presence was grounding amidst the bustle, and there was something about the way she moved, as if the forest itself were guiding her steps. After a while, Jason noticed that they had gathered enough samples. "Leary, do you ever leave this forest?" he asked, curiosity bubbling over. "I do, but this is where I am rooted. My people believe that we should nurture our connection with nature," she answered, her expression thoughtful. "I get that. It's like coming home," Jason murmured, feeling a strange pull towards her wisdom. Leary smiled, a hint of mischief shining in her eyes. "Perhaps your home should be more than just a place. Interesting perspective. And maybe I could use a guide to explore that," Jason said, the air between them charged with possibilities. Just then, a flourish of wind blew past them, rustling the leaves overhead. Leary instinctively raised her arms almost as if to dance with the gust. "See? The forest loves a good show." She laughed. "Then I'd better give it one." Jason grinned. He twirled, mimicking her graceful movements, causing Leary to burst into joyous laughter. "Careful. You might wake the trees," she teased, her laughter a melody that echoed through the branches. As Jason continued to spin, the sensation of lightness wrapped around him. In that carefree moment, he felt a bond beginning to blossom, a connection that transcended their worlds and drawn together by something undeniably alive. Surveying the vibrant forest, he realized how he had begun to appreciate life's subtler moments. It was more than just discovery, it was the feeling of being seen, of belonging, a tease of the magic intertwining their fates amidst the ancient trees. "Thank you for this," Jason whispered to the trees, catching Leary's eye. She smiled, her understanding radiating warmth. This was just the beginning of something remarkable. This chapter sets the stage for the ensuing relationship between Jason and Leary, blending dialogue and action as they explore the enchanted forest together. Chapter 2: Unraveling Mysteries. Morning light filtered through the canopy, casting a mosaic of shadows on the ground where Jason stood. The aroma of damp earth and lush vegetation filled the air, invigorating him. Today, he intended to gather more samples and learn from Leary about the fascinating ecosystem of Veradonia. "Are you ready for another round of exploration?" Leary's voice floated through the trees, her green figure appearing like a mirage as she emerged from the underbrush. Jason smiled, heart racing at the sight of her. "Always ready. Lead the way." "Today, I want to show you the Glimmering Grove," she announced, eyes sparkling. "It's a unique part of the forest where the flowers respond to sound. You'll see." "Sound-reactive flowers? That sounds incredible," Jason exclaimed. "Follow closely, we must respect their space." As she began walking, Jason noticed how she moved with an elegance that seemed intertwined with nature. "That's something you have over us humans. You're all so in tune with your surroundings," Jason remarked, matching her pace. Leary laughed softly. "It is not an advantage but a way of life. We learn from the forest, just as you will." "I certainly hope so," he said, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. "So, how do these flowers respond? Should I whisper sweet nothings?" Leary chuckled, the sound musical. "You can certainly try, but I think they prefer melodies to compliments." "Melodies, huh? Maybe I should sing." Jason smirked, clearing his throat dramatically. "But I should warn you, I'm tone-deaf." "Oh, let's hear it. I am curious." She grinned playfully. "All right, here goes nothing." Jason took a deep breath and began to belt out a tuneless melody, relishing Leary's laughter. As he finished, he bowed theatrically. "What do you think? Should I take my act on tour?" Leary clapped, mock admiration shining in her eyes. "You have the spirit of a performer. But maybe leave off the singing." Chuckling, Jason continued to walk beside her, appreciation swelling inside him. Around them, the forest thrummed with life, the sounds of distant creatures creating a harmonious backdrop. "Do you hear that?" Leary suddenly asked, her expression shifting to one of focus. "The forest is responding." "What do you mean?" Jason looked around, hearing nothing distinct. "The sounds adapt and shift in this area." "It's a sign we're close," she said, tapping her ear. "Listen carefully." As the gentle rustling of leaves began to harmonize with the melody of chirping creatures, Jason concentrated, trying to catch the ebb and flow of the forest. It was subtle but beautiful, a connection beneath the surface. "Wow, I think I hear it," he exclaimed, a grin spreading across his face. "It's like a conversation." "Exactly," Leary beamed. "Now, let's not disrupt it." She pointed towards the grove, peeking through the tangle of trees. Pushing through the last few branches, they entered a clearing, and Jason gasped. Hundreds of vibrant flowers bloomed, their petals shimmering like jewels in the light. As they approached, the flowers seemed to shift, swaying gently as if welcoming them. Unbelievable, he marveled. This is just wow. Watch closely, Leary said, kneeling by a cluster of iridescent flowers. Try speaking softly, or even humming. Jason leaned closer, clearing his throat again. This time he opted for a soft hum, testing the waters. Almost immediately, the flowers began to vibrate gently, their colors deepening, almost pulsing in time with his sounds. Whoa, it's working, he uttered, eyes wide. This is amazing. Now try to hum a bit louder, Leary encouraged. Hesitant but eager to see their reaction, Jason increased his volume. The flowers thrummed joyously, petals shaking like they were dancing. See how they respond to your energy? Leary said, her eyes bright with excitement. Do you think there's a way to communicate with them more directly? Jason quizzed, curiosity bubbling forth. Only one way to find out. Leary's voice dripped with enthusiasm, her excitement contagious. You're already making a great connection. Perhaps try introducing yourself. Laughing, he said, all right, here I go. Hello, beautiful flowers. I'm Jason, and I mean no harm. His voice crescendoed, and the flowers waved more vigorously, their colors shifting to hues of gold and violet. Look, they adore you. Leary clapped her hands, a spark of joy lighting her features. See how they react to your energy? That's incredible. Jason replied, his heart swelling at her words. Now try showing them a rhythm, she said, her voice lifting like a melody. Clap your hands. Nodding, Jason started clapping in sync with the sway of the flowers. To his astonishment, the shimmering petals began to pulse with his rhythm, a visual symphony unfolding before him. They're dancing, he shouted, a laugh escaping his lips. I can't believe it. Yes, this is what I wanted you to see. Leary twirled, the motion mirroring the flowers' dance. You have brought them joy. Feeling a surge of exhilaration, Jason continued to clap and hum, and the grove transformed into a vibrant, living portrait. He paused, laughing, and turned to Leary. Who knew flowers could be so expressive? It's like they have their own personalities. They do, she said softly, meeting his eyes. Each one is unique, just as you are. Jason felt warmth flood his chest. You've taught me more in just a few hours than I've learned in years. Then it's your turn to teach me. Leary's gaze was earnest. What do you feel when you connect with nature? He considered her question seriously. I feel. It's hard to explain. There's peace and also excitement. It's like being part of something larger. Exactly. That feeling is crucial, she replied, her voice sincere. You understand why we protect this forest. I want to learn how to protect it, too, Jason confessed, a newfound sense of purpose weaving through his words. Then let us work together, she said with a smile. There's much to unravel. You really think I can help? He asked, a bit surprisingly. Of course, she affirmed, her tone confident. It's not just about knowledge, but heart. You have both. Jason sensed something shifting within him, a determination blooming in response to her faith in him. What's next, then? Now we collect some of these flowers, Leary suggested. But we will do so with reverence. I can show you how to take only what's needed. As they began to gather samples carefully, Jason's heart swelled. Every moment spent with Leary felt alive, vibrant, and rich with possibilities. Errors faded. Doubts softened. Leary, he said, breaking the comfortable silence. Before I came here, everything felt so mundane. But now, it's like I'm awakening to a tapestry of life. She looked at him curiously. That is the beauty of discovery. They finished collecting their samples, and as they stepped back, they took a moment to breathe in the fragrant air. I'll never forget today, Jason said, feeling an ethereal bond with this alien woman and the world around them. Nor I, Leary responded, smiling warmly. Thank you for awakening the grove. Thank you for guiding me, he replied, their eyes melding together amid the flowers, feeling the energies of the forest as intertwining threads between them. With a sense of shared understanding and discovery, they slowly made their way out of the grove, knowing this was just a beginning, a first step into a world where both human and alien could thrive together. This chapter builds on their exploration and connection, weaving dialogue seamlessly to enhance character interactions and the feelings they evoke in their shared adventure. Chapter 3: The Warning. Jason awoke to the gentle rustling of leaves filtering through the open windows of the makeshift lab they had set up on Veridonia. The air was still cool and he stretched out in his sleeping bag, the events of the previous day swirling in his mind. The glimmering grove had ignited something within him, a deep curiosity and a yearning to understand the forest and its secrets. "Good morning, Jason." Leary's voice called from outside, her tone warm and inviting. "Good morning," he replied, emerging from the lab to see her standing nearby, her hair glistening with dew like the leaves overhead. "Got anything new for me today?" "I hope so," she replied, her eyes twinkling. "I want to show you a place known as the Whispering Falls. But first, we should check the vitality of the area around the glimmering grove." "Sounds like a plan," Jason said, excitement bubbling up. "Let me just get my gear." As he gathered his tools, Leary watched, her gaze soft yet focused. "You seem eager to learn. More than ever," he confessed, buckling his pack. "I can't remember the last time I felt this passionate about my work." Her expression brightened. "It's good to feel connected to something, isn't it?" "Absolutely." Jason smiled, heart racing. "It's more than just the work. It's you as well. You make exploring an adventure." She chuckled, a lightness in her laughter that wrapped around Jason like a sunbeam. "Flattery will get you far." They set off through the thick trees, the underbrush alive with the sounds of chirping birds and insects buzzing. As they walked, Jason couldn't help but reflect on how much Leary had opened his eyes to the wonders of Veridonia. Each step felt thrilling, charged with energy. "I have a question," he started, breaking the comfortable silence. "Ask away." Leary glanced over her shoulder, her face lit with curiosity. "What's the story behind the Whispering Falls? Why are they significant?" Leary's expression grew more serious. "The falls are believed to be a gathering place for the spirits of the forest. They flow with healing energy and provide wisdom to those who listen." "Spirits?" Jason queried, intrigued. "Not in the way you may think," she clarified. "The energy of the forest can manifest in various forms. The trees, rivers, and flowers all hold memories and stories." "Memories?" he repeated, fascinated. "How does that work?" "They are like echoes. When significant events happen, the forest remembers through its flora and fauna." She paused, her eyes growing sensitive. "But it can also sense if someone intends to disturb it. That's why we must tread carefully, always respectful." They slowed their pace as they neared the grove they had visited the previous day. The lush trees were vibrant, but an undercurrent of tension rippled through the air. "Do you feel that?" Jason asked, looking around. Leary nodded, her brow furrowing. "Yes, the forest is on edge. We should proceed with caution." As they reached the entrance to the glimmering grove, Jason was struck by an unusual stillness. The flowers weren't dancing as they had before, instead they drooped slightly, their colors muted. "What happened to them?" he asked, scanning the area. "Something has disturbed their energy." Leary knelt next to a cluster of flowers, inspecting them closely. "They are reacting to an imbalance, suggesting a presence that shouldn't be here. Can we do something to help them?" Jason knelt beside her, concern growing. "We must reacquaint them with balance. Let's try to connect with them." Leary took a deep breath, closing her eyes as she began to hum softly, a melody that flowed from her, pure and soothing. Jason joined in, following her lead, trying to merge his energy with hers. The flowers began to respond slightly, colors flickering back to life. However, as they hummed, the air thickened with tension, and Jason felt an almost electric charge in the atmosphere. Suddenly, a rumbling sound echoed from deeper within the grove, startling both of them. Jason's heartbeat quickened. "What was that?" "It's a warning." Leary stood up, looking towards the source of the noise. "Stay close." They moved cautiously deeper into the trees, and the atmosphere grew heavier with an unsettling resonance. Jason glanced at Leary, her expression grave. "Is it supposed to sound like this?" "No. It means something is wrong." As they approached a clearing, a large, ancient tree loomed ahead, its bark twisted and gnarled. Deep cracks ran through it, and a pulsing light emanated from within. The ground shook slightly beneath their feet. "What is happening?" Jason whispered, eyes wide. Leary stepped forward cautiously, her gaze fixed on the tree. "This tree is an elder, it contains knowledge of the forest. If it's in distress, something significant has disrupted the balance. What? Stabilize it. Leary took his hand, their fingers entwined. Let's create a connection. Sing the hum we shared earlier. It will resonate with the tree. Jason nodded, feeling the warmth of her skin against his. As they began to hum together, they poured their focus into the sound. The vibrations flowed through the air, reaching out to the tree. As they continued, the ancient tree began to react. The deep thrum pulsed more firmly, alive yet restless. Yet, it seemed to respond to their voice, counteracting the dissonance that had festered. Leary looked up, determination in her eyes. Keep going. Don't stop. Suddenly, a powerful wind whipped through the grove, sending leaves flying and rattling branches. Jason felt overwhelmed, but he tightened his grip on Leary's hand, channeling his energy into the song. Focus, Jason. Remember the grove, the connection. Leary encouraged, her voice almost breaking over the sound of the storm. Jason swallowed hard, their connection anchoring him. He remembered their laughter, the joy of discovery. They had shared something special. He poured everything into their song, letting his heart guide him. Slowly, the chaos began to shift. The tree's pulsing light intensified, and Jason felt a wave of energy wash over him, a warmth that wrapped around his heart. The flowers nearby perked up, colors brightening. Finally, with one last hum, the wind calmed and the air settled to stillness. The tree stood firm, the cracks glowing faintly but no longer chaotic. Jason and Leary stared at each other, breathless. I think we did it, Jason said, disbelief coloring his tone. Yes, but we must remain vigilant, Leary replied, her relief palpable. This is only the beginning. What do you mean? Jason asked, frowning. The forest speaks to those who listen. If the balance is disturbed again, we must be ready. Jason glanced back at the elder tree, its presence now strong and steady. How could anything disrupt it? Leary's gaze grew serious again. There are many forces in the universe, both harmonious and destructive. We must stand guard over this place and connect with the forest. This is our responsibility. You're right, Jason said, solemnly nodding. I want to help. A smile broke through Leary's seriousness, lighting her features. Then we shall work together. Their hands still entwined, they turned back toward the path leading out of the grove. A new understanding bloomed between them, an unspoken promise to protect this extraordinary place together. I won't let anything happen to this forest, Jason said, determination lacing his voice. Nor will I, we're in this together. Their gazes locked, a strong bond of partnership forming, echoing with the wisdom of the trees. With every step they took, they knew there were challenges ahead, but together they would face whatever lay in their path. This chapter emphasizes the growing connection between Jason and Leary as they confront a challenge in the forest, further deepening their relationship while showcasing their determination to protect their environment. Chapter 4, The Bond Strengthens. The vibrant hues of dawn filtered through the trees, casting an ethereal glow across the makeshift lab in the heart of Veradonia. As Jason woke up, he was greeted by the invigorating scent of rain-soaked earth mingling with flowers left over from yesterday's excursion. Outside, he could hear the soft hum of the forest waking up, a symphony of chirping birds and whispering leaves. Hey, sleepyhead! Leary's melodic voice broke through his thoughts. She stood at the entrance, her hair glistening with morning dew like threads of silver. Morning! Jason called back, rubbing sleep from his eyes. What's on the agenda today? We're going to explore the deeper sections of the forest near the Whispering Falls. I want to show you something special, she answered, her anticipation evident. Count me in. I'm ready to learn, Jason replied, excitement bubbling in his chest. As he gathered his gear, Leary shared snippets of her people's traditions and lore surrounding the falls. It's said that the water carries stories from every corner of the forest. If you listen closely, you can hear the echoes of the past. Wow, I can't wait to experience it, he replied, trying to envision it. It sounds almost mystical. It is, Leary said, a soft smile gracing her lips. But we must approach respectfully. The falls can be unpredictable. Right, caution first? Jason nodded as he finished packing. They set out together, the lush foliage enveloping them. Jason noticed how effortlessly Leary navigated through the forest, her movements fluid. He found himself drawn not just to her beauty but to her grace and confidence in this environment. Do you spend a lot of time out here? he asked, trying to keep pace. Every day if I can, she replied, glancing back at him. The forest is my home. It holds wisdom and life. I wish I had your connection with nature, Jason admitted, feeling a bit envious. I've spent my life studying plants. Sure, but I've never felt so alive. When you learn to listen instead of just observe, everything changes, Leary said, her eyes shimmering with sincerity. You have that potential, Jason. You just need to trust it. I guess I've never thought about it that way, he confessed. In school, everything was about data and analysis. No one taught us how to connect. That's where we differ, she noted, her gaze sweeping across the forest. Nature is not just a subject. It is an experience. You're beginning to catch on. With their conversation flowing effortlessly, Jason felt a dawning awareness of deepening feelings for Leary. Her passion for the forest piqued his desire to connect not just with nature, but with her as well. After a while, they arrived at the base of a tall waterfall cascading down rocks covered in lush greenery. The water sparkled like diamonds under the sunlight. This is it, Leary announced, her voice filled with reverence. Unbelievable, Jason breathed, taking in the sight. I've never seen anything like it. Leary smiled, obviously pleased by his reaction. Listen closely. Jason shifted his attention, straining to catch any subtle whispers that might dance in the air. At first, he heard only the rush of the water, but soon he began to discern faint sounds that almost resembled voices, a blend of laughter, sighs, and melodies within the splashes. It's as if the falls are alive, he said, an overwhelming sense of wonder washing over him. Yes, you can hear it, Leary exclaimed, joy illuminating her face. Let the water envelop your heart. It carries knowledge. I feel it deep within, Jason admitted, closing his eyes to concentrate. It's like stories are coming to life. Encouraged, Leary knelt by the water's edge. Place your hands in the falls, feel the essence flow through you. Following her lead, Jason knelt beside her, dipping his fingers into the cool water. He gasped as an electrical sensation surged up his arms, filling him with energy. This is amazing, he breathed. Leary watched him, a smile brightening her features. You feel it linking you to the forest, don't you? Yes, he replied, his excitement spilling over. It's like everything is interconnected. I can almost see it. Then let's create a song, Leary suggested, her eyes gleaming with mischief. We'll sing with the water and become part of the rhythm. All right, but my singing is still questionable, Jason laughed, a hint of embarrassment creeping in. Just follow my lead, Leary encouraged, grinning. Trust me. With that, Leary began to hum a tune, her voice blending beautifully with the sounds of the waterfall. Jason listened, taking in the melody before adding his voice hesitantly. They harmonized together, the cadence flowing like the water itself. As they sang, Jason felt a release, a sense of purity enveloping them. Colors around them intensified, with shimmering streaks dancing at the corners of his vision. He opened his eyes to find Leary looking at him with a mix of joy and admiration. You're doing wonderfully, she cheered. Keep going. Encouraged, Jason let go of his self-consciousness and poured his energy into the song. With each note, he sensed the forest resonating with them. Feel the connection, Leary urged, her voice drawing him in. Together, we are part of this moment. In that instant, a bond began to solidify between them, a deeper understanding born from shared creativity and emotion. As they sang, the water shimmered brightly, reflecting their harmony, and Jason felt the air thrum with life. After several minutes, they slowly faded their song, breathing heavily, but laughter echoed in the air. That was incredible, Jason exclaimed, wiping a bead of water from his forehead. Leary beamed, enthusiasm brimming. You surprised yourself. I didn't think I could sing like that, he admitted, a low chuckle escaping him. You brought it out of me. See? You just needed to connect, she said, her gaze sparkling. It's about trusting yourself. Feeling emboldened, Jason inched closer to her, his heart racing. Leary, thank you for guiding me. You make everything feel vibrant. She looked at him, her expression softening. You have a gift for understanding. I see it. Their eyes locked, and the air thickened with energy, pulling them closer. For a fleeting moment, neither of them spoke, the forest around them holding its breath. What started as a shared connection expanded, shifting into something deeper. Jason began, feeling a sudden wave of vulnerability. I don't want this to end. I don't either, Leary whispered, taking a step closer. Their faces were mere inches apart, the energy surrounding them palpable. Slowly, as if drawn by an invisible force, they leaned towards each other, closing the distance. The moment their lips met, warmth spread through Jason, illuminating everything within him. It was tender, gentle, as if they were resonating with the beauty of the forest itself. When they broke apart, both were breathless, the world around them stilling in reverence. Wow, Jason stammered, still feeling the aftershocks coursing through him. Yes, wow, Leary echoed, a shy smile creeping onto her face. It feels right, doesn't it? Right, he agreed, a grin breaking through his surprise. More than right. They spent the next few moments in comfortable silence, leaning against the rocks, gazing at the waterfall. The joy and wonder they had shared evolved into a deeper commitment, a desire to protect each other and their world. Shall we head back? Leary finally suggested, her tone slightly teasing. I think we've disturbed the water long enough. Sure. But on one condition, Jason replied, a playful glint in his eyes. You guide me through this forest as we protect it together. Deal. She grinned, the light dancing in her eyes as they stood up. As they made their way back, Jason felt an exhilarating sense of purpose, the connection between them more vibrant than ever before. The forest thrummed around them and he knew they would face whatever challenges awaited them together. This chapter explores the evolving relationship between Jason and Leary, emphasizing their emotional connection while deepening their understanding of Veridonia's wonders together. Chapter 5, A Choice Between Worlds. The soft light of dusk began to drape over the forest as Jason and Leary made their way back to the lab. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, their colors deepening in the fading sunlight. Jason's heart was still racing from their kiss by the falls, the taste lingering on his lips. Wow, I can't believe how magical the falls were, he said, breaking the comfortable silence as they walked side by side. I feel like I've never experienced anything like that. Leary glanced at him, her eyes sparkling. It's a special place for many reasons, and the energy is amplified when you truly connect. I can't help but feel like I'm finally seeing the world for what it is, Jason admitted, shaking his head in disbelief. It's as if you've opened my eyes to everything. You were always capable of seeing it, she replied softly. You just needed a push. Maybe, he said, glancing at the trees that surrounded them. But without you, I don't think I would have ever found that spark. Leary paused and turned to him, her expression serious. What if we took this further? We could study together, learn from each other about your world and mine. Jason's heart skipped a beat. Her words filled him with both excitement and uncertainty. You mean like, as equals? Exploring both our worlds? Yes, she affirmed. There's much I want to understand about humanity, and perhaps you can share your knowledge with me about nature here. I'd love that. I want to bring everything I've learned back home, he replied, feeling hope swell within him. But her voice grew soft, a hint of hesitation creeping into her words. Our worlds are so different. If you choose to stay, there will be challenges here that you might not be prepared for. His heart sank slightly. What kind of challenges? The balance of nature is fragile and outsiders often disrupt it. You will need to learn the ways of my people to protect not just the forest but also yourself, she explained. You would be leaving everything behind. Jason swallowed hard. It's a big choice, but I wouldn't be here without you. Leary's expression became serious, her eyes searching his. And I would never want to be the reason you lose your home. You must decide for yourself. I understand that, he said softly, running a hand through his hair. But this is my home now too. This forest feels alive to me. Your heart is already intertwined with this place, she said, taking a step closer. But if you choose to stay, it will not be easy. What do you mean? He pressed, wanting to understand. Time operates differently here. You may find that human technology doesn't coexist well with the forest. Some of your ways may conflict with ours, she explained, her voice steady yet laced with concern. Right? We're technically advanced, and sometimes we forget the importance of nature, Jason acknowledged. But I feel like I could learn. If anything, I want a balance. Leary nodded thoughtfully. Balance is essential. Would you be willing to give up your life back home? Jason turned to face her fully, weighing her words carefully. I never imagined I'd be faced with such a choice. But the thought of walking away from you, from this place, it feels impossible. Her gaze softened, yet her expression remained serious. You'll have to consider your family's feelings and responsibilities. They'll likely miss you. I know, Jason muttered, a pang of guilt washing over him. But I can't ignore this pull I feel towards you and the forest. Leary stepped back, giving him space. You must choose, Jason. Follow your heart. But know that every choice comes with consequences. Can I take time to think about it? He asked, anxiety pooling in his stomach. "Of course," she replied, the tension in her voice easing. "I can show you the deeper parts of the forest tomorrow. You should see as much as you can before making any decision." "I'd appreciate that," Jason said, grateful for her understanding. "It'll help me get clarity on what I truly want." Leary smiled, relief washing over her features. "Then let's not waste today. There's still much to explore." As they resumed their walk, Jason felt a mixture of excitement and dread. He knew that whatever decision he made would shape the course of his life. They reached a clearing where the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an array of colors across the sky. "Look at that," Leary said softly, pointing at the vibrant shades of orange and pink. "This is a moment you won't find anywhere else." "It's beautiful," Jason agreed, feeling the warmth of her presence. "It's moments like this that make everything worthwhile." They stood side by side, watching the sunset, a serene silence enveloping them. Just being near Leary felt comforting, as if no matter what lay ahead, they could handle it together. "I know this is a hard choice for you," she finally said, breaking the stillness. "But I want you to know that wherever you go, you will always have a connection to this forest and to me." Jason turned to her, surprised by the weight of her words. "You mean that?" "Of course," she replied, her voice sincere. "We may come from different worlds, but the bond we share is strong. It's created something beautiful." His heart swelled at her affirmation, deepening his desire to protect not just the forest but the relationship they had forged. "I appreciate you saying that. I want to make sure I do right by both you in this place." "Then let's make the time we have count," she suggested, a glimmer of excitement returning to her eyes. "Tomorrow can be the beginning of a new adventure." Jason smiled, feeling a renewed sense of determination. "I'm ready." As night descended, they made their way back to the lab, the sound of the forest settling into a peaceful rhythm. The stars twinkled above them, a tapestry woven with countless stories. Jason couldn't shake the weight of the decision ahead, but knowing Leary was by his side gave him strength. "I think I'll manage to figure things out," he said quietly, more to himself than to her. "You will," Leary replied, glancing at him. "Just remember to listen to your heart." Jason returned her gaze, a warm smile playing on his lips. "With you around, I think I'll be all right." As they entered the lab together, the world outside felt both familiar and new. Whatever choice lay ahead, Jason knew he'd face it head-on, ready to embrace the unknown, with Leary at his side. This chapter wraps up the journey of choice, emphasizing the growth of Jason and Leary's relationship while showcasing their commitment to understanding one another and the worlds they inhabit.